I was with Goofy, and I got to be honest. So like, I take a picture with him, and my hand's kind of like around, like behind him, like around his shoulder, and his is around mine. And then after, I say thank you so much, and I go to give him a hug, right? And
you squared him up. You went from around.
We were doing sideways to front to front.
You squared him up. Yeah, I gotcha.
And so the thing that got in my head as I embraced his hug is from the transition from side hug to front hug, my hand kind of like grazed across his like love handle, and I felt the actor's like love. Like it was the movement of the transition. I'm not saying I don't hug around hips, like I'm not hugging a man around his hips.
We are live.
Hello.
Hi.
What's up, boys?
It's been forever.
It's been too long.
I had to go to Disney.
So. Yeah, that was very selfish.
I was busy.
You had to. You had to go.
But I had something fun happen at the airport.
Oh, let's hear it.
Yeah, you have to tell the story.
Can I tell this story?
I don't know if anyone will believe it, but I'm in.
Okay, so, and I do have some evidence. I have some proof because Marlo was with me during like the second half of it. So I do have a witness. So that's good. I was at the airport, Boston Logan Airport. There were tons of delays and cancellations. So there was tons of people around in the gateway. The gateway or the terminal? I don't know what it is. Like wherever everybody is for JetBlue. So I was the plane house. Thank you. So I was in the plane house, and this dude comes up to me. I was wearing my Wicked Good Pulls sweatshirt, and nice sweatshirt, Joe.
Thank you.
Matt, nice solid navy blue t-shirt. That's just a plain t-shirt. Okay. So I'm there, and this guy is kind of looking at me. He's waiting outside the restroom. His two kids went into the restroom, and he's just waiting outside. And he's just kind of looking at me, and I'm like thinking, like, do I know this guy? Whatever. And he just points at my sweatshirt and says, "Wicked Good Pulls?" And I go, "Yeah." I go, "Yeah, that's a podcast." I forget exactly what I said, but I'm like, "Yeah, that's a podcast," And he goes, "Are you Mike?" And I like my eyes wide. I'm like, what? Uh-oh. And he's like, "Are you Mike?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, I listen
I have questions about that, but keep going."
Okay. So he knew pretty quickly that I was Mike by the sound of my lovely voice. He could clearly tell that I was Mike. But anyway, so I'm like floored. Like I'm shocked because I'm looking around like what's happening? Is this guy tricking me? Like what's going on? So we're just chatting, and he was like, "My kids love collecting cards, and we've like listened to your show. Like I am like, I'm big into comics, and I'm getting into cards now too because of my kids. But so I listen to like a lot of like hobby based podcasts. And so long story short, I did ask him, like, how did you even hear this podcast? Because we really don't have the massive audience that we one day will have, of course.
Right.
And he said, no, it got recommended to me based on my listening via Spotify. So thank you, Spotify, for that. But then the other part of this that I thought was surprising is because I was in Boston Logan Airport, I assumed he was just like local, and maybe like that somehow made it happen. The guy was from South Florida, so he was actually flying back home. And that means we have at least one listener in South Florida.
We have a big following in South Florida.
But I got it. So the fun part about this is this guy was talking to me, and now my whole family was kind of like off to the side. Like they didn't really, they weren't there to hear the whole interaction, but they were like observing it. And
hi, Jen.
Jen just walked by. So while that was happening, you could see there was this long line because, as I mentioned, there were like cancellations and all that stuff. There was this long line for customer service there. And all those people you could see were looking at me to figure out like what's happened. Who is this guy? Because this guy knows this guy and it seems like he might be a celebrity. I think once they saw that I wasn't at all and they had no idea who I was, like everybody else looking, they quickly lost interest. However, it was a wild experience. Now, part 2, I'm walking like through the plane house with my daughter Marlo, and there's this woman sitting down because again, it's a zoo there. Everybody's canceled, so there's this woman sitting down on the floor, and we walk by her, and she points at me, and she goes, "You must be who Brian was telling me about." And because Brian was the name of the dude from South Florida. And I'm like, what? And Marlo's right there. And she's like, he was telling me all about your podcast. Good luck with everything, and was very kind and very positive.
She's like, quit your job. You guys made it.
It was kind of wild. So it was like for 30 seconds, I feel like I completely knew what it was like to be Brad Pitt, Denzel Washington, all the big ones. I was up there at that level. But I got to be honest, when you go to an airport, and you have somebody like identify you because of your podcast, that's a wild experience. So it may never happen again, but it happened once. So now that's a bucket list thing.
Matt.
I think you didn't tell the story exactly correct in that I love that you left out that your plane was canceled, like yours specifically. Your family was now miserable. Everyone should have been upset.
This is the best night of my life.
Your whole experience was just wrapped around this like interaction, and you didn't care about your trip at all. Like it was all about fame, if you will.
Right. Well, I didn't add that while I was having that conversation, Grant was, I think, like in tears because we just found out the flight got delayed from 1:30 a.m. to 3:30 a.m. This is before we found out our flight was canceled, which was another round of tears. But listen, I try to find the silver lining, and that may be the only occasion in my life where somebody recognizes the podcast.
There's your Brad Pitt moment. Oh, it is.
Yeah. But I got to be honest, though. I felt like every time I walked around, people were looking at me. I just couldn't get my privacy. It was so,
what's funny?
It was such a burden.
I tell people that story now, like my friends, and they're just not impressed. I'm like, so like we've made it. And like, nope, no, you haven't.
No, you haven't.
Your brother was wearing the sweatshirt. No.
Whatever. It was a cool interaction, and I enjoyed it. Yeah. So that's my story. That's why I've been unavailable because I was traveling to Disney. But now I'm back, and now we're here. Do we have topics, or where are we going?
I have topics. I got topics. Come on.
Hey, before we get into that, I just want to ask Mike, I want to recap Disney a little bit. Did you hug any of the the rule?
Okay. Quick answer, no. I got scared. I released so quick. You got to understand. All right, so
you did hug some.
Your real job could be on the line. So I get it. If you held on too long, that's...
Well, I think that it's more the realization when it comes down to it. Okay, we talked about it in previous podcasts, how I was going to test it out. And just a reminder to listeners, we were testing the rule that Disney characters are not allowed to release a hug. You as the guest at Disney, you're the one who gets to release. So they just have to hug you for as long as you hug them. And so I was going to test that because I was just at Disney. And I will say I made my most honest, genuine attempt when I got to Goofy. So we were at Chef Mickey, and it just the opportunity was there where it was just Goofy and it was just me taking a picture together, which that is not something I'm super proud.
I gotta add, I
jump in.
Goofy's a risk because I feel like when you go up and hug him, he might try to joke around and he won't let go. So next thing you know, you're like, all right, I'm done. And he's like, like you're just sitting there trapped. He's out of all the characters in the park, Goofy would definitely just he'd be like, nope, let's keep going. Like you're like,
I mean, Yeah.
Why did you end up in a photo with just him without your kids?
Okay, because my kids have heard this podcast and they knew that there was a challenge. And so they were trying to help create some opportunities for me to test or to like carry out this challenge. So they were actually like,
they're good kids,
helping. They're just solid kids helping facilitate like a creepy move by their dad trying to overhug Disney characters. However, I was with Goofy, and I got to be honest. So like I take a picture with him, and you know my hand's kind of like around, like behind him, like around his shoulder, and his is around mine. And then after I say thank you so much, and I go to give him a hug, right? And
you squared him up. You went from like around.
We were doing sideways to front to front.
You squared him up. Yeah, I gotcha.
And so the issue, the thing that got in my head as I embraced his hug is from the transition from side hug to front hug, my hand kind of like grazed across his like love handle, and I felt the actors like love. I felt like it was the movement of the transition. I'm not saying I don't hug around hips, you know, like I'm not hugging a man around his hips. You don't
extend two arms low.
But I like to do the cross, by the way, one up high, one low, and then the person does the opposite.
I like people who do too low though; they creep me out.
Yeah, just hands directly on the hips,
like
right?
Put them on. Yeah.
So no, it was the transition, but when I felt the actual person, like the actor's love handle, it dawned on me, I'm like, this is a human being.
How tight were you squeezing him? Because those are big, like, costumes.
I know. I guess it wasn't tight. It was transition. So I recognized the sounds very, very creepy. It was just the movement of my hand. And I felt it was more, I realized it wasn't Goofy. There was just a man inside there. And at the end of the day, even though I really wanted to carry this challenge out, I'm not just going to hug a man I don't know for an indefinite amount of time.
Right.
That's the other thing. Like I'm
think
not.
That's very mature of you. I feel like
I gotta say, you know, if any executives of Disney are listening to this show, I appreciate and respect the rule. However, I feel like there needs to be an age limit on this. Like, I just feel like
there may be
dads.
I bet they're sitting here listening, being like, "There's no friggin' rule."
Yeah, like I heard about it once on YouTube.
Yeah, I know. Like, why do they keep saying there's a rule?
Love handles. That's weird.
Yeah, that is fair.
I feel like Marlo would have given it a shot. Did any of your kids try it?
No, I mean they hugged the characters, but I don't think they were doing the deep embrace. You know, the indefinite embrace. I'm sure they would have if I pushed them to, but I don't know how I feel about telling my kids like, "Hey, hug those adult actors for an extended period of time. Don't let go."
I could totally see Marlo embracing in a hug and then looking over at you being like, "It's on." You're like just smiling, going, like, "I'm not letting go."
Don't make eye contact with me.
She could do that.
Honestly, I feel like any one of those three would be willing to take that challenge on. Like I could see all three of them trying, you know, and almost competing with one another. Who can hug a character the longest?
Is true. That is true. You know what? You know why I picture it is because Marlo enforced single dingle for the single riders.
Right.
Is now referred
so I
to.
feel like you got to give the
rider.
context to the listeners.
So appropriate name for single rider is single dingle. That's all.
Yeah. So anytime they would say, "Hey, is there any singles? Any singles?" And then Marlo asked, "What was it? The elevator ride? What was it called?"
Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror. She asked the lady who was running, whatever it is, the Tower of Terror.
It is an elevator ride. Yes.
From now on, can you refer to it as single dingle? The lady looks at her and just goes, "No."
She like broke character. She's
like, "No, I will not. Sorry, I can't."
Dark person. She was like, "Oh no, God!"
But she said it all adorable. She's like, "Excuse me, can you now say single dingle?" She was like, "No." Yeah. Love it. She's my hero from that point on.
She does have signs up at Disney because of that moment, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk some cards, guys?
Yes.
Let's talk some cards.
So I want to go back a few episodes ago when we talked about like what to do with all the common cards that I have from collections. And you guys talked to me about recycling, burning, selling. So it turns out we're selling them. So I will say I'm not someone who has been a seller on Facebook Marketplace. However, my wife got in a mode of like wanting to clear out things, just like get rid of them from the house, not just cards, like pretty much anything I'm attached to. Like,
yes, all your personal belongings.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, like
love it.
Like I don't know why the clothes are out in a pile. I don't know what's happening, but she's using Facebook Marketplace. So I was like, hey, why don't you take a couple of these boxes? So like just like the 800 card boxes that I fill up with common cards and throw them on for like $5 each. Do like $10. Just test the market. And don't lie in the description at all. Just say that there's some big names, but they're probably base cards or like, they're not the treasure hunt that you're necessarily looking for. So, not that we use those words, but she basically wrote it as a clear description of like, you're not getting rich off these. If you want a little bit of a hunt, there's got some big names and some base cards. Here you go. Somebody responded with like, I'd take those and more. Do you have anything else? So we put a whole like package together. There was a ton of them, and we sold for $120. So it was probably like 8 boxes. It was like one of them being like a 4-row. And I'm sure there's some names in. I'm sure there's like a Reggie Miller in there, or I'm sure there's like some guys that'd be fun to find. But he picked it up for $120. I also sold a box. I called it like my below deck. I don't know why I called it that, because I have a couple shelves with all my main cards, and then I have a shelf below, and I put like the overflow that like the names aren't as liquid, they're not as good, like it's like bad dollar bin stuff. So I have a box of top loaded of that, and that sold for $50. So it did pretty well, and it made me think. This is more about Facebook Marketplace. The no percentage off of your sale is really nice, because I started to do the math of the $50 box. Like if I sold them as like dollar options or like on Whatnot, or you don't get the full dollar anywhere near it on Whatnot or eBay. So the idea of just selling it to someone who pulls up to your house on Facebook Marketplace, minus that little risk. But it was nice because it cleared out some space. It was stuff I've already kind of enjoyed and gone through. And, I think he got more than his money's worth overall. I just don't think it's that liquid. So yeah, so that's my common card resale.
So, okay. So you said you sold like one batch for 120 and another smaller batch for 50. Was it to the same buyer, or was it?
Yeah. So he came back. We put up a bunch of different like items on the marketplace, and we're getting like questions on a lot of it. Like it stimulated like a lot of interest, it seemed like. But yeah, so one individual bought it was probably 9 like 600 to 800 card boxes. And then one 4-row box, and that was the full 120. And he said, if you have more, let me know. And I said, we actually put up more posts since you've been on your way. And he lives close, and so he basically messaged and said, hey, could I come back and pick up the top loader box? So the overflow box, whatever you want to call it. And we said sure. So he brought $50 for that, and in there was like, there was some rookie cards in there. There's definitely more than $50 in value, but those are cards I never sell. Like, no one wants my Franz Wagner base rookie card. No one wants, just different players of like that level. There was a few parallels and things like that. So, and again, it was probably like, I don't know, 200 cards maybe, like for $50. Like, so, if he's doing them with giveaways or things like that, then it's, probably worth it to him as well. But it's been nice because I just cleared out space. It's awesome.
Well, that is a good update. So how much of your storage space, if you had to give it like a percentage, right? If like what percentage of your storage space did you just open up now and then get $170 for? Because this is like the best way to get rid of like those cards you don't want and to create, because space is difficult. Like you have to manage the storage space. So what did you open up?
So I have a large stainless steel rolling shelf of 5 shelves. I don't know how long it is. It feels like 6 feet long. I opened up one whole shelf, not because I sold them all, but because I've pulled them out to put together for like photos and packages for the other sales. But keep in mind, everything I sold was even more than I could store. So this is part of what Chris's like interest was I was overflowing into other parts of the basement that I shouldn't be using. Right. And so did I free up space yet? No. Have I?
Because you're beyond 100% of your storage space.
Have I given back some of the absurd space I've used? Yes. So
how long did it take you to like the lot, like you said it was like 9 boxes, right? Is that what you said? Yep. Like, did you put any effort into saying this box will be this kind of card, like all NBA junk wax, or like, was it organized in any way, or was it just a straight mix?
I label my common boxes so I can go back through them and pick through them. Like, for example, I think I've told you, like Sophie Cunningham on WNBA has like a lot of interest from honestly kind of creepy dudes, but cool. I think they're after her for not her playing abilities in general is my suspicion. I actually don't know that. She has been playing well, so I shouldn't say that. But I went back through WNBA and pulled out like a bunch of base prism Sophie Cunninghams that I wouldn't even have top loaded because there seems to be requests for her a lot. So I label all my boxes like by sport. But there's a couple that are mixed. So some of the packages are just like mixed football, basketball, baseball. I have one lot set up that has got a lot of interest. That's hockey. And that's one they could really gain on because I don't know anything. I haven't really gone through that. Oh, Joe, the dog in the background.
That's right.
But yeah, so the hockey lot is one that I actually think could do well for other people because I don't.
Yeah, there's greater potential.
Yeah. Like I'm pulling out every Jordan. By the way, that is part of the description. I will literally write in
Jordan's removed.
No Jordans, no Kobe's, no Iverson. Like I make it clear that those aren't in there.
That's fair.
Because there's no way I would leave those.
Yeah, so I do agree though that like you're the perfect lot seller of hockey because it's definitely possible because I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to assume that's the sport of which you're least knowledgeable. And so
I know some names just because I follow sports, but like I really don't know. I don't even check the card value for those because I'm just not drawn to it, and I have so many cards it's not worth it.
What about Wayne Gretzky though? Do you pull any of those? Because I mean,
I honestly just stopped going through. Like, the reason I'll end up with hockey is because I'll buy a collection, and all I'll do is go through it to separate it. I have pulled some Wayne Gretzky's in the past, but like I know there's names in there like Steve Yzerman and like Ed Belfour. Like I know those names. But I left them there because I just didn't care enough.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but hockey is that sport that's played on the ice. Is that correct?
Nailed it. Yep.
I did.
You got it.
Good. Just I wasn't sure because everything we do is either on grass or a court. So this one's new to me. I'm just not familiar with it.
As Dad would say, you get Frzinia if you play hockey.
Right. Right.
Frzinia.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. I mean, that's a nice little added source of revenue and storage space. So good job to Chris for making that happen.
Yeah.
I can feel the tension between you two in that whole interaction, but good move on her part.
Yeah, she's taken back some space, I guess. But honestly, it was it made me think I might want to post some bigger cards on
That's
there
what I was going to ask next.
to avoid the percentage fee that you have to pay with eBay and whatnot. Like I was looking at one of my breakdowns of like amount I earned off of a card and whatnot, and they just keep taking pieces of it. And I don't know. It was interesting because the guy, and from an eBay standpoint, I've had some shipping issues with some of my non-card stuff. Like people make stuff up because they want to return it and they want you to pay for the ship. So like somebody sent me back, like I had a tech item that they said it didn't work. It worked perfectly. So I don't understand why. And it's just a headache. It's fine. Like it wasn't a big deal. But to know that someone just takes it and I don't ever have to see it again, there's no really return out of it.
Yep.
It was nice in that way. And it's items I didn't think I was going to sell. I thought it was going to be like, do I recycle it? What do I do with this? But I do have to go back, guys. I don't know if you remember when I bought those Babe Ruths. And Joe has referred to me stealing. I think that's disrespectful.
That's fine
for you to say it that way because
you're entitled to that, but I stand by it.
I had an agreed purchase. Well, I'm starting to make a decision of what I want to do, and I've described it as this Babe Ruth. But in reality, it's really over 200 cards that are from the 1950s. It's two sets. It's a 1954 set and a 1952. And I started to comp it out because I'm going to essentially trade them all for like one big card. And I'll get into that in a second, but I just want to tell you how much this is comping out at. And I was very conservative and I took the lower dollar number. But right now I still have 57 cards left to comp.
Okay.
And my current value right now is $2,217 in value with 57 cards left to go. Now the big cards are all comped. I already took those out. So, they're probably going to be an average of $5 to $10 on the next 50 cards.
Yeah.
So it could be up close to another $500, but more likely like 300-ish.
So you're looking at like a 2,500 value, give or take?
Just on those. But guys, some of the cards I just sold for the 120 were some of the leftover lot from that original $25 purchase. It's been doing well.
It's been a very lucrative transaction for you.
Sounds like you made out on that robbery. Yeah.
Okay.
So then, not to be negative, but let's just really dissect. No, I'm truly curious. I just want to surface all of the goods and the bad. So clearly, this was profitable, no question, and I think that automatically makes it successful. How much time? Now, I know I should add that part of your joy in this hobby is the hunt. You like weeding through cards, and so it's not time that you're giving up. It's literally things that this is an activity you enjoy.
It's like when someone does a puzzle. It's the same sort of
perfect. Yeah, good analogy. So as far as so correct me if I'm wrong. You bought a lot from somebody on Marketplace. That's where you found this person?
Yep. And I have certain questions I ask, and I try to answer them in my description when we're putting them up as well. But I found it on Facebook Marketplace.
So let's start with when you went to purchase this lot, what were those questions you asked that said the right answers are there, I'm going to go buy it? What were those questions?
I asked, did you pick through this in any way? Did you remove any players? And are there separate cards that you keep top loaded? Because
in the lot?
No, just like in general. Because that tells me these aren't their good cards, right? And because that's essentially what I do. I pick through them, I go for a hunt, and I pull out cards and top load them. So, and I make sure people know that I'm doing that if they're going to buy the lot that I'm going to sell. So,
so you're trying to differentiate between, are you a collector that's selling the things you don't want to collect, or are you just a person trying to create space in your attic and you found 5 boxes of cards and you have no idea what the value is, you're just trying to get rid of them, right? Or some version of that.
Yeah, just kind of get a sense, or do you clean out houses or storage units and you just start dumping, or I just trying to get a sense. And if they typically tell me that they pick through, they took out the good ones, and most people are honest. I'm sure there's some that would blatantly lie.
Yeah.
Then I just say, all right, well, thank you. I hope you get your number. Like, good luck.
Sure.
Sometimes I'll say, like, who did you take out? And then I'll, like, lower my offer.
Yep.
Or, like, I pick – there's one right now that I'm negotiating with that he's got it listed at $250. And it just feels high. It's a lot of 90s, but it's late 90s. So I'm kind of curious. I saw a lot of basketball in there. It was like a cool Dennis Rodman. And I asked him, have you seen any Jordan? And he said, I wouldn't be shocked, but I haven't gone through to see it. And honestly, for me, I'm probably buying those around like the 120 I'm selling them for, like $100. Because if there is no Jordan, I can't get $200 back. Like
right.
Like that era card is nice, but it makes it challenging if there's no Kobe or Jordan. Okay,
so all that makes sense. So now you found this guy that you said, all right, he kind of answers the questions in the way that I wanted him to answer them. I'm now interested. You go and you pick them up. How much time? Because I remember I saw that lot, I think the day you got it, right? Like I was at your house that night. We were all selling together. And I was overwhelmed because I don't look at it as therapeutically as you do, the actual sorting through. I get overwhelmed because they were so unorganized when they're not broken up by sports or anything like that. How much time did it take you till you felt like, okay, I've looked through this thoroughly enough?
Till I cleared the lot.
Yeah, exactly. Find the nukes, remove those. Yeah.
It's funny because I'll talk to my wife and kids and they'll be like, are you done with that lot yet? I'm like, I haven't cleared it. I haven't cleared the lot. Cleared it to me means I've gone through every card. I've sorted it and boxed it and put it away in an appropriate place. So it's either in my common box or it's like top loaded it in its appropriate spot. How much time? Well, Joe helped me for a lot of it.
It was just that night. I just going through it.
That first night. It's probably, 5-6 hours. Mm-hmm. Like if I had to guess, it wasn't in one sitting. Like it's probably in 3 different, so maybe even more than that. And I guess I probably should account for that because if you do the calculation of what I'm going to make per hour, it's probably not that great. Especially like right now, if you're going to ask me about time, I'm going through 200 cards and comping 200 of them, and I'm writing it down so I can bring it to the card store and have a good negotiation. That's taking me, another hour. So like, it's certainly not without its, time issues. I get that.
Well,
but it's also part of the hobby for me. Like the hunts.
Well, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Like you enjoy it. You enjoy it. If you were miserable as you're sorting through for those 10 hours, then I would say that's probably not worth it. But you said almost a weird amount of times, like, I just love the hunt. I love the hunt. Yeah. It's like really weird, but I'm happy for you.
I think it's a normal interest. No, that's fine.
I think it's a very normal interest. I think if you just walk around, you don't have the context. You're a guy who says, I love the hunt quite a bit. So it's just a weird comment to hear your brother say all the time. But I know what you're talking about. You're digging through. And I will say, I can relate to that, Joy, because when you actually find the card, like I remember when we were at the random flea market, this was months and months ago, but how they do the thing where I think it was like everything was a quarter, and it's because they hadn't sorted through it yet. And it was basically like, you're sorting through it for us, right? As you go through it. And I found an Allen Iverson rookie for a quarter. Right. And like that feeling of like, I just went through a few rows and I found this
it's a rush.
Yeah. So I totally get it. I think where we're different is mine will like quickly dissipate after like an hour. Like that's when my neck hurts and I'm uncomfortable. You seem to have a little bit more.
I go through the pain. Yeah.
It took me like 10 minutes and I was like, I can't. I couldn't do it. I'm like, and I'm looking up going, how do you guys do it? And I just look over and I see like 4 grown men and their necks are just like completely down like that. It was crazy. Just,
yeah. So now financially, you said, so we'll just kind of, to give it a round figure, we'll say that it's roughly going to get you like $2,500.
Yeah.
What did the lot that you're now getting $2,500 for, what was your initial, like how much did you buy it for?
$25.
$25.
I think you meant steal it for.
And I have. So when I say
that's
I sold,
unbelievable. That's a good. And I'll add that it's worth the hours you put in. It's still worth it. But what were you going to say? Sorry.
Because I've also sold probably $200 worth of some of the singles from the 90s already. And I sold the rest of that lot off in the $120 deal. So I don't, it's not exactly the whole lot. So I don't know the percentage, but there's pieces of another $320 that I've already made off of that.
Yeah.
But I have to say, this is by far the best find I've had. Like there's some I'm like barely breaking even on, you take a few swings and misses as well. So I would say if people are going to buy lots, make sure they ask those questions. Like, are you pulling anyone out? Do you have top loaders in a separate section that's not part of the collection? Things like that, because it will tell you a lot about the lot based on those answers. But can I pivot on what to do with the money now? Like, because I don't want to just hold Babe Ruth and these 1950s cards.
Yes, but before you do, can I just add in? So like can I just go back to Marketplace real quick, and then we can get into your goal. So when you and I spoke about you would and maybe you'll talk about this, but I think you got like 3 pretty solid cards for a good price recently during a Marketplace transaction, and you had mentioned that now some police stations are like putting like a spot to almost do this transaction safely, which is obviously that's encouraging to hear. But do you at all worry, like, so my thought when you had mentioned this whole Facebook Marketplace transaction and they're not taking a percentage is like, oh, if you do like some high price cards, there's like definitely value there because you're not giving up the percentage, and it's not like it's heavy, right? Like you're bringing a few big cards. I guess my question is like, do you at all worry? And I think this is going to segue into what you're talking about, because you're probably going to acquire like some pretty high price cards soon. Do you at all worry about like that? If you're saying I'm selling this card, right, and it's $1,500, you're like being set up to be robbed, right? Like if there's this is a high price thing versus like, all right, I'm selling you 5 cards for $25
to clear out.
That's the only like reservation. What are your thoughts on that? And maybe it's something you thought about, but
I haven't really thought about it as the seller, because I'm not selling high price cards there yet. As a buyer, I've thought about it because I got $200 in my pocket and I'm showing up to meet some guy. So like they could be like, I mean, remember the guy that said get in? Like I was a little like,
but you knew not to. Good job.
Yeah. Smart thinking.
Thought about it, but
you considered it.
Seems like a nice guy.
You want to go for a ride? Let's do it. Let's see how this thing.
Let's go through the Chick-fil-A drive-thru. But but you're right. So this last one, I bought 3 graded cards. We agreed on a price of $190. The value was around like $260. It was a clear percentage sort of deal. That
sounds like a fair deal on both ends.
It was, and I think he graded them, so I think he did well. But but we met up at a police station. So I'm learning that when police stations are being built, they add, I mean, it's not an elaborate build because it's just a parking spot, but they're adding signs that say like meetup location so that people can have a safe exchange. The dog. And so the safe exchange is just, I think maybe I'll do that if I'm going to do really high end cards and just meet there. So there's a feeling of security, I guess. I mean, I didn't see police officers come check in on me when we did this exchange, but I'm sure they were like losers. But they provide that. And I think if the dollar amount continues to climb, then I think that makes sense.
Okay. And you had mentioned you now want to shift to kind of your next goal in terms of what you're trying to get.
Well, so as you guys know, the only thing I won't sell is Drew Bledsoe. So I'm going to start by saying I'm not going to try to trade into a Drew Bledsoe, because I think though I'm planning on holding whatever I do with this, I'm not looking to sell it right away. it needs to be liquid because it's not something I just want to just tuck away and not have value and potentially lose value because depreciating cards of Drews are potential. So basically, I have $2,500, and the question is, do I go get cash? Do I go get trade? And for me, like, I am going to do trade to try to get a higher percentage. So this isn't a deal that I'm going to go and like do it at a card show or do it with an individual. I'm not going to do it on eBay. I don't want to lose a percentage. So I'm going to go direct to like a local card shop. There's a couple people who do well with vintage around in the area. And I've already started talking with them, and they were like, all right, get a number. I love the idea. We'll talk. And so I'm hoping to get 80% in trade, whereas if it was cash, it would probably be 70% if it was a cash deal. And I'm thinking I want to spin that into essentially probably a total of 3 cards, but the bulk of it on one big Shohei Ohtani, a graded PSA 10, hopefully rookie of some sort, Shohei Ohtani. And I just think he can continue to climb based on his play, but I'm pretty sure he's already like one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest in baseball. Like, he's already done enough to be in the conversation, and yet he's still got a ton of career left. Whereas like Wemby, I might get, if there's a few $100 left, I might grab a Wemby. But Wemby has a ton of room to grow because he's still so young, but he also could get injured and not pan out to be what we hope he could be. And then when I look at like Jordan and Kobe, those card prices have skyrocketed so much in the last 3 to 6 months that like you're just buying at a high. Like, I have to imagine, and I don't know what would cause like GOAT dips. And maybe it's like the National coming to an end, or like all the big card shows nationally, like Fanatics Fest and that stuff, maybe coming back. Maybe they'll come down after that. But I don't see the investment there because they've all tripled in price in like 3 months. So I feel like you're buying at a high, and that doesn't feel like a smart move.
So you need to reserve at least $100 of that to give to me for the card show advertisement that I've been asking for probably 6 times, I think, 7.
And when we know our full costs, we will break that down.
I don't.
Matt only does it once. He only does one transaction.
I think you just Venmo me $100 and we'll be like, all right, we're good.
But then I'm gonna have you Venmo me for the giveaways or tables.
That's fine. That's fine. I don't want to net just yet because but I would also like to segue into you too must go onto our social media and be a presence, because I can't do it. I'm not.
I thought your wife was managing that. I thought
managing posts. Yes. Talking back, having a back and forth with vendors, inquiring about the card show, and then wanting to discuss cards. That's where I'm out. I can't do it.
So I don't view that as social media. That sounds like they're sending emails. No,
they're sending instant messages through either Instagram or Messenger. Yeah, they're messaging back to it, and there's a lot of questions. And for the most part, I have no problem answering like logistic questions about the show. I can do that, but it never stops there. Then they inquire more about like, because they don't know who it is on the other side of this, and they don't know, and they're probably not familiar with the podcast. They don't know that Joey Holes doesn't collect cards and thinks you two are nuts. So, they're talking to the non-card guy.
But that's on them. That's their fault. They need to listen. Their fault. Yeah, they should be listening and knowing exactly, they should know that I like 90s basketball, and that's pretty much my lane. Matt likes it all, and he likes the hunt. They should know these things, except hockey. That's right, except hockey.
I've essentially, like, I can't do it anymore. I've stopped. So I need you two to be a presence.
You should just tell those people, like, stop being a nerd. Leave me alone.
I'm not telling anyone anything.
No. I'll log in because I want them to come to our card show.
I don't even know how to do that, but I think if you show me, not on this podcast, I don't think people want to hear you explain to me how to do it. But I don't know how to do any of that, but I can learn.
I know. And you guys have your own email addresses too. I think I told you way back when I set them up.
Yeah,
you have no interest, and I get it. But I think it's coming to a point now where it's becoming important. So we have to focus.
Well, but to be clear, though, I feel like I should do the least because I'm the celebrity. I was recognized in an airport, so therefore I'm identified as the talent. And then you two are the all right. No, I'm joking. I do think
create most of the content, so I feel like
I'm feeling a little tension here.
Guy.
How about we set up a meeting and we work all that stuff out separately from this podcast?
Of course.
I don't think it's super interesting. And I do want to. If it's all right, I'd like to go back to the Wemby Ohtani kind of Matt's aim for like the next big card. So I totally understand what you're saying about like Ohtani has already accomplished enough as of now that you could have the debate of GOAT already. And then obviously, similar to like when Tom Brady had his 5th Super Bowl, the debate was happening and then he was
going to be a great. Yeah.
Yes. And then he kind of sealed the deal. And that's certainly a possibility for Ohtani, that it's like he's already in that conversation and then he could seal the deal in the next few years or whatever.
Like there's room to grow, but short of like a major crime, I don't see how he'd really decline significantly.
Right.
Because he's doing things that have never been done before because he pitches and hits.
Right. And so I guess my question though is, you had said that you might take that, let's say that 2,500, invest the biggest portion of that towards Ohtani. Maybe if there's some left over, you get like some version of a Wemby, and then maybe some like Jordans because they're just kind of Jordans or Kobe's because
maybe
safe,
Jordans
right?
To sell, like maybe even like a bulk lot or something of non-major Jordans.
So here's my question, and this is something I struggle with in terms of like high value cards and the concept of like a long-term hold, because I have some cards that I hold on to that I don't sell. I have no intention of selling. And it's because I like got them for my birthday for my son. Right. So it's not even about the card, but everything else, I'm kind of fair game of like, yeah, I'll sell it. Right. When you say a long-term hold, and I'm genuinely asking this, like, is there some sort of indicator that you're looking for to then say, now I'm ready to sell? Like, what is long-term? Is it 2 years? Is it 5 years? What are you looking for?
So I'm not 100% sure. I guess I just am thinking that by making it Ohtani and moving it off of this 52 and 54 set, I'm making it liquid and easy if I want to move it. Like, if I like this set's super cool. Like there's a piece of me, my wife and I have had a debate, like who has Babe Ruth? Like,
why would you look to sell it? I mean, I feel like this is the rare card. And I mean,
I hear you.
Why wouldn't this be the long term?
Is money though. Like so to me, it's worth it. And then somebody else can hold on to it, but you got 100
So I guess what I'm learning is it's just not that easy to move this age of vintage card. They're not even necessarily baseball cards. They're like entertainment cards. So it's really kind of niche. So I have to work to find a buyer for this. And so my point is if I ever want to make another move, if I have a large Ohtani in a single slab, that will go in a heartbeat. It is very liquid. I don't have to really work to find someone. So it's like, and it continues to appreciate because I think like Ohtani's like feats are still happening on the field. Whereas the Babe Ruth, yes, they are rare. And they might become more rare as time passes because people lose stuff. However, it still is going to take work, and it's not all in one card. It's in like a 200 card set. So like, I guess I just feel like I'm making it simpler. Should I want to sell it or should I want to do something else? But I'm not buying a Drew Bledsoe because I'm not saying I'm not going to sell it at some point.
Sure. Yeah, it's still not PC, but it's a long-term hold. In the you're speculating that he's potentially the GOAT, and you're gonna make a profit on the card down the road.
It's a long-term hold in that I have no plan of selling it. Like I'm not like this today. I'm gonna go to card shows to buy cards to flip. Like I already know. I don't even know what they are, but I'm gonna buy stuff to sell them. But this one, I was just gonna. I don't know. It's just like having an investment, and I just think Ohtani, it simplifies it, and yet I think it keeps it it's not going to really fall off the table because he's already done so much, and yet there's still opportunity to grow. Like Kobe and Jordan, you are subject to the market. Their play is never going to indicate whether or not their values go, obviously as retired and deceased athletes. So it's really just the market. You're at the whim of the market, and I think it's already high. So, I not that it's going to crash. It's never going to go skyrocket down, but it might be a little bit of a dip coming, or it might slow.
Well, it could fluctuate. At any point.
Any market. Any market.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of go with Ohtani, just because I feel like right now, I don't know of a player.
Honestly, I think your logic for like a long-term hold being Ohtani, that it actually makes great sense because there's still upside potential, but there's enough safety in it as opposed to Wemby. Because that was something that you and I talked about a couple of days ago where I'm like, but in one of our podcasts, you were saying Wemby's a good buy, and Wemby is still a good buy, but you're basically saying, to some degree, Wemby's riskier the higher price you're going because he just hasn't accomplished as much yet.
Yeah, like if you're talking about buying Wemby now to sell at the start of the season, I think it's great. I think it's awesome because you're buying kind of at the NBA dip.
Yep.
And he struggled in the finals a little bit, though I don't think his cards went that low. And then you sell at the excitement of the start of the season and around, or maybe a couple weeks in once he gets going. But the risk of Wemby, you mentioned it, you asked me about it, is potentially injury.
Injury.
I
agree.
I don't see his play deterring him from hitting an all-time great status. I see his frail build as the only real risk. So yeah. So I think that's
all right, guys. I think we gotta focus on time. Do you guys have polls? Okay. Do you have polls?
I do. Week? Can I just ask one more question about Ohtani? Can I? I'm sorry.
All right, it's all right.
I know. I'm so intrigued by this, and I'll try and make it quick. So, Matt, let's say you get an Ohtani PSA 10 for, let's say, $1,500. I have no idea if that's the price range, but let's just say $1,500. And you buy it and you're thrilled. It's the exact card you want. And you go, okay, I'm going to hold on to this. Is there still any desire to throw it up either on eBay or Marketplace for $3,000, right? So it's not worth $3,000, but you put it on there and then you just say, I'm going to let it sit there because if somebody's willing to pay $3,000, I've doubled my money. I've made that investment. So let's say if in 3 months somebody says, yeah, I'll take it for $3,000. Would you do that, or are you just taking it, tucking it away, and then waiting for the right time?
So I'm probably going to be in between that. I won't put it on eBay. I'm not going to put it in my shop on whatnot, but I will bring it with me when I go to larger shows because I'd hear cash offers, and I kind of like the idea of trading into something else. If there's something super cool that I can trade into, like a Kobe autograph, a Jordan, now it goes the card 2x'd, and now I'm trying to get into
and you're parlaying that into something else. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm not in a rush to do that, but I think I'll bring it with me in case I want to trade up or trade into something else, or maybe I throw $200 cash in the Ohtani and get a bigger Ohtani, whatever. I don't know. So that would probably be my plan, to not tuck it away, but I'm not going to post it on sites or anything like that.
Okay, I will stop. I love this topic, but for the sake of time, Joe, thank you for letting me squeeze that last question in.
No problem. All right, I'm going to play the intro. I don't know if you guys will hear it in this new platform, but it's coming in.
Not hearing anything.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. Everybody else heard it. So, and you'll hear it.
No.
Yeah. I can't do it. Sorry. Can't have everything. I know.
Single.
That means we're not going to hear the outro.
You're not going to hear the outro. No. But if you go on the website, you can probably play the whole song if you want.
I'm going to dance like I hear it. I'm going to pretend like I hear it. I'm going to shake my shoulders like I hear it.
All right. What are your polls? Come on. Let's go.
All right, Mike, you go first.
Okay, I got a 2009, 2010 Upper Deck MJ Legacy Collection Gold Edition by grade 10 for
hold that
Beckett,
up to the,
right? BCCG is Beckett.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like their cheap offset of their Beckett system. Yeah.
Yes. So I will sell it, but I just think that, Matt, you had mentioned earlier that like Jordans and Kobe's are kind of going a little crazy. And so I just feel like any 10, even if it's not a PSA, any 10 of a Jordan or a Kobe is always good to have. So I'll just, I'll still try it. I'll probably still run it and get rid of it. But I've been eyeballing, like if I can find a decent deal for 10s of Jordans or Kobe's, I'm going for it. But anyways, that's my pull of the week, my wickedest pull of the week. Matt?
Nice. So because of all the Shohei talk, I've had to pull a Shohei. So I have what year is this? This is a 2023. It's just a Stars of the MLB Shohei Ohtani
glare. I can't see it.
It's kind of shiny because it's actually a Topps Chrome.
Ooh.
It's a slightly different. It's only like a $5 card, but I think Stars of the MLB is a very underrated insert in baseball. They're so common. They're not hard to pull, but it's a cool Shohei. So that's really it. It's a 2023, and it's when he's in his Angels uniform. So, and he's pitching. Sometimes I like to get the hitting versions of him, but he's pitching in this one, and I think it's cool.
Okay. Very nice. All right, I'll take us out.
Play the outro. People thought we could hear it, but we couldn't hear it.
I know. You guys did good, though. Hey, I got one quick topic I think I'd like to end on, if you guys don't mind, and that is...
Cool. Could I just throw a quick plug, though, before you do your summary topic?
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, producer. New product came out, Topps Resurgence, NFL football. Topps is trying to maximize all their licensed products of the current rookie year. So like the Jackson Dart rookie year stuff still coming out. It came out this week. It was really a good looking card. Like the card looked really nice. It was a lot of metallic shiny. Mike, you'd like it. You can get retail like blaster boxes for like $30. Go to your local card shop to pick some up. It's just a cool looking product. Nothing crazy about it. I just thought it looked nice. That's all.
Cool.
Go ahead, Joe.
It's good that you just brought up NFL because I wanted to talk about fantasy football. I know we brought it up a couple episodes ago. Yep. I know drafts are going to start happening soon, but I just wanted to throw this at you because it came to me the other day, and I didn't know if maybe this is already a thing, if people do this, but if you did your draft picks using a whole set of cards, now is the 26th season already out with rookies and everything already in it? Can you buy like a whole, like any brand, but a whole season? Like, you know how you used to buy a set?
Yeah, I don't think they've come out yet.
When do they come out? Do they come out before the season or after the season starts?
I haven't looked that far ahead with release dates, but I think there's always someone who does it on the early side because it's like a market thing.
So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, you get a set of cards, right? And then you put them all, you place the cards out by position, but you do them by value. Because I'm curious to know about the card value versus the player performance. Yeah. And to see, if I picked by the value of the card, does that fantasy team wind up being good or bad based on the actual player performance? It's just food for thought. I feel like the logistics of that would be very hard to do, but I'm curious to know, like, imagine getting if everyone put in for the fantasy team, for the tournament, but then everyone put a little extra in for the box or the set of cards. And then at the end, you got to keep the cards you picked for your picks, but at the end, the winner gets the rest. And there could be other cards in there or something like that.
There's a major issue to that because of quarterbacks.
I wanted to bring it up because I wanted you to bring it down a couple notches. I love to give ideas and then just have you explain to me why it won't ever work. So go ahead.
There's a major issue.
I love it, but the major disconnect from fantasy value to card value is quarterback play. quarterback play drives the NFL market of cards because they're the most important position on the field. But in the fantasy football world, they're all similar number levels. Like, I'm not saying they're not better or worse. But someone like a Jalen Hurts has huge fantasy potential, but he's like a middle of the road quarterback because he runs the ball. He'll score a lot. He has a high powered offense. He lost some receivers, so he might dip a little bit this year. But like, point being is, like, I would tell you as someone drafting a fantasy team, don't draft your quarterback for like the first 10 rounds. Like, get a quarterback later, because like you can get like who's the best quarterback in the league right now? Say it's Josh Allen. You could get Josh Allen like the 3rd round, or you could get someone who almost does what Josh Allen does in the 10th round from a fantasy point value standpoint. And so that is a major disconnect between fantasy value and card value because the quarterback play in it all. So like, I don't know how it's kind of a cool exercise. Maybe we should try it.
I feel like it's worth an experiment, because I'd be curious to know how, if you did decide, like, I'm going to make the statement that I'm going to my picks or available picks are going to be based on card value. So out of all the quarterbacks, I'm going to pick the highest valued card, and that's going to be my quarterback. Just how that actually results in your actual fantasy team, and see. I'd just be curious to know. And I don't know, if people listen to this and actually have done something like this, I would love to hear a comment. If people were to comment, I would love a comment. That'd be great. But yeah,
like,
I don't know.
One comment, like,
just
one.
Let
us know that it exists.
I would like
Just
one
make
comment.
Sure we're not talking to ourselves.
Yeah,
we are.
I think
Cool.
okay.
It's
and
us
that one guy in the airport
in South Florida.
Hi, Brian.
Yeah,
Brian.
yeah.
Is he the pulley of the week?
Oh, he might be. He's down in South America. He's in South America. Is that correct? Is that where he lives?
He's from Florida, southern Florida.
Yeah.
Making fun of me. I get it.
Yeah.
Are we done?
I think we're done. I think we got to wrap it. That was fun. So yeah. All right. We'll punch
boys.
out. Okay.
Love you guys.
All righty. All right.
Good day, sir.
Bye.